Imagine that you just got the local newspaper and noticed a story on a young man who was recently arrested for stealing from the local Walmart. He was caught for having a few cans of food stuck into the pockets of his jacket, and the young man admitted that he had not eaten in days and simply had no other way of getting food. He is without a job, a home, or any kind of help at all. He has been living on the streets since he dropped out of high school after his freshman year. You can't help but wonder if he realized before dropping out that this was the point that he was going to reach in his life. One can't help but question how different this man's life could have been if he had not dropped out of school. Would he have made it to college? Would he have a job? The chances of either of those things would be significantly higher if he had just finished high school. However, after growing up on the bad side of town, where almost everyone he knew was dependent on food stamps, he didn't realize the importance of getting that education to keep him from becoming like his neighbors. My mother began a committee in our hometown that has members dedicated to raising the awareness of illiteracy within our community, and I have seen the positive effects that she has brought to our community. I have also done extensive research to understand the negative side effects behind being illiterate, who's being most affected in certain communities, and the problems that will rise if something is not done. The literacy rate is at an all-time high for the United States, and in an attempt to begin to solve this issue, I want to propose a plan to better educate citizens on the importance of being illiterate. Today, I will argue that the literacy rate is at an all-time high and shows no signs of stopping unless something is done. And in hopes of beginning to solve this serious issue, I propose to raise the awareness of the necessity of being educated to be successful. I will begin by discussing the problems we are facing today as a result of so many uneducated citizens. There's a great need to help people become educated and to keep them off of welfare. More and more Americans are falling short of receiving an education and being able to financially support themselves. According to the United States Department of Education, more than 32 million adults just in the United States have very low literacy skills. According to a study that was done at the College of William & Mary, there are 3 social mechanisms that can potentially obstruct access to literacy. First is the cultural ideas and practices about schooling and written language. Second is the family and personal attitudes toward literacy. And third is the impact of poverty on life and access to literacy. Illiteracy is a huge problem in Georgia that just so happens to have one of the lowest high school graduation rates in all of America. Everyone is affected by this problem, whether it's the literate person who can't maintain a job and is struggling to support themselves, or the hardworking person who's having to spend some of the money that they earned on taxes that are being taken to support these people who can't support themselves. The severity of this problem is that if nothing is done, more and more people are going to become illiterate, and therefore it's going to raise the amount of people who are on welfare. The Certified Literate Community Program reported that a third of adults in Georgia have difficulties with the English language, which limits both their employment opportunities and just the quality of their overall life. The danger of this problem is that children who aren't reading by 2nd grade are likely to become the citizens that we support through those federal grants, or that we become fearful of as they grow older. Women who are illiterate are at a higher risk for unplanned pregnancies, and illiteracy is tied to crime, drug use, teenage pregnancy, and self-esteem issues. According to the adult education programs, workers must be able to read safety regulations and warnings just to get even like a low-class job, and it's important that they know how to communicate with others so that they can work as a team. It means to just communicate with one another. Illiteracy is tied to many social problems, and if the problem is not fixed, the workforce is going to continue to deteriorate, bringing the already failing economy down with it. Not only that, but the crime rate is also going to continue to rise. Now that we've heard these statistics, in order to change them, we need to find a way to better educate children and young adults on the importance of being literate in today's world. I feel that the only way to solve this problem is to use one-on-one interaction to help explain to young kids and adults the importance of staying in school. I would require that each county in the state of Georgia to have a committee of dedicated people passionate on raising the awareness of being literate to underprivileged kids and young adults. The goal will be to reach out to families in the community, especially the mothers, and teach the importance of education. I say the mothers because the Department of Education revealed a study that showed that mothers are the single most important influence on a child's outlook on education and reading. Individual committees will do their own fundraisings to get the community involved. Local events such as fundraisers will raise money to buy things like dictionaries and pencils and other school supplies necessary for that one-on-one interaction I'm talking about to help them raise their awareness. These committees are ultimately working with the Certified Literate Community Program, which will support the community's mission to make literacy a community-wide commitment. However, the CLCP will not decipher how funds are spent or raised. The individuals within the committees will decide how they choose to run their group and what ways will be the best to reach out to their communities to get other people to help as well. So I've laid out the course of action. Let's examine how it's worked elsewhere. The committees that I'm suggesting will go to local schools, libraries, and clubs such as the Boys and Girls Club to encourage kids and young adults to stay in school and to explain to older adults why it's vital for them to at least have a GED. According to an article in the Los Angeles Times, one man whose 7-year-old son had a higher reading level than him took it upon himself to enroll in an adult literacy class offered in his town by said committee and reported how beneficial the one-on-one interaction was for him and just what he needed. Someone there to remind him how important this was for him. He is now a school board member and volunteer for the same committee in his town to help other illiterate adults. In Arizona, a community did set up a tutoring program designed to break the cycle of illiteracy. Volunteers were trained to provide one-on-one interaction through tutoring sessions once a week for 90 minutes to kids within their local schools. And they were sure to get a wide range of people so the child could be with someone that they were very comfortable with. According to research done by the Virginia Piper Trust, which is a newspaper in Arizona, the students that went through this program in Arizona all showed improvements in state-mandated tests, and the administrators at their school noted changes in each student's motivation and behavior. My plan is extremely beneficial to everyone involved because I'm not asking for any extra money. No tax increase or grant is going to be necessary. All of the money to benefit these people in need will have to be raised or donated. I'm not implying for these committees to rely on state funds or grants because I want to avoid dipping any more into taxpayer dollars. According to the Center for Ethical Business Cultures, reaching out to companies within the county could also be beneficial. Many already family-oriented companies would be willing to help, especially in smaller towns. It is clear the benefits can easily outweigh the costs. Now examine some counter-arguments. Some people may not think that a group of people would be able to change the mind of kids or young adults that are already on the track of dropping out of school. However, it's been shown that the majority of the kids in major danger of not finishing school are those who didn't have anyone to set an example of how to be successful. So I believe that giving them a role model that can tell them the importance and is there to support them can have a positive outlook and just completely change their dedication to becoming educated. Secondly, the thought of donating to this type of cause may seem just like another unwanted cost. However, I'd like for you to think about it in a different way. It only costs $160 to take the GED test in Georgia. If we could help raise money to finance another person to take this test, we're going to open this door of endless possibilities to help them better themselves and give them a way to get a job, and helping to support these kids and young adults or older adults that may have not been offered the same opportunities as we have could help knock that one more person off of welfare who's benefiting from the money that's coming straight from your pocket anyway. If everyone could come together to overcome this downturn in education, it has the potential to grow into something very beneficial for everyone. So we need to start somewhere. In conclusion, I know the thought of a group of people helping may not seem realistic, but it would be a start to stopping the continuously increasing rate of illiteracy in America. By helping more people receive an education, you are keeping kids out of trouble and hopefully out of the ground. Better yet, the most beneficial part is that you could be saving your own dollar by helping them reach this goal instead of them depending on living off of your tax dollars day by day.